Welcome to Tired Mommy Revival. Hey mama, are you running on coffee fumes? Feeling like brain fog, fatigue, and anxiety are running the show? Do you wake up dreading the day ahead, already overwhelmed by the endless to-do list and unsure how you'll make it through? Do you long for the energy to enjoy motherhood and care for yourself, but feel stuck and unsure where to start? Let me remind you of something life-changing. You were created for more energy, more clarity, more joy. Hi, I'm Jerusha, certified holistic wellness coach, wife and mom to 2 wild boys and 1 baby girl in heaven. I know the exhaustion you're feeling because I've been there, barely making it through the day, relying on coffee and chocolate to survive, and wondering why nothing I tried ever made me feel better. Then, God stepped in and revealed a powerful truth. A woman's body is beautifully and uniquely designed to thrive. When we align with how God created us, we can boost our energy, bust through fatigue, and step into the vibrant, joy-filled life He has for us. Mama, I'm living proof that it's possible. These days, I wake up refreshed, nourish my body with intention, and navigate the chaos of motherhood with patience and peace. Most days. And I want to help you do the same. If you're ready to swap exhaustion for energy, brain fog for clarity, and guilt for grace, you're in the right place. Each week, we'll dive into practical strategies, faith-filled truths, and empowering tools to renew your health, body, soul, and spirit. Are you ready for this? Let's do it, mama. Let's talk about a word that either makes you smile or makes you cringe. Crunchy. What does it even mean? If you Google it, you'll find a million different takes. Some people say it's the mom who's sugar-free, gluten-free, dairy-free, dye-free, nut-free, basically free of anything fun. Others use it as a shorthand for the mom who makes life harder than it has to be. You know what I'm talking about. But here's how I like to define it. Being crunchy simply means leaning into health, stewarding your body well, and aligning your life more closely with God's design and the good things He gave us through nature. It's not about joining the over-the-top club. It's about walking a journey, your journey toward health. So here's your permission slip, mama. Whatever part of the journey you're on, it counts. If you're swapping out one snack, celebrating one small step, or going all in with your pantry overhaul, it's all worthy of being celebrated. When I was privately living my best crunchy life, I didn't feel much judgment. Sure, friends or family might say I was being too cautious with food or medical choices, but it rolled off. Then I became a holistic wellness coach. And suddenly, I felt like my every move was under a microscope. If my kids ate a non-organic snack or I enjoyed a muffin at a meeting, I worried people were thinking, shouldn't she know better? The truth, most of that judgment wasn't even coming from other moms. It was coming from me. I felt like I had to be perfect to qualify as crunchy, or worse, to qualify as credible. But here's what I learned. Not being perfect actually makes me more relatable. And what I really needed wasn't stricter rules. It was confidence to walk in my journey. And that's what I want to impart to you today, mama. Confidence to walk in your journey so that you can embrace it and ditch any judgment that might follow you along the way. Okay, let me tell you about something that popped up into my YouTube one day. You know how sometimes you just want a little laugh, so you start scrolling on those short videos? Well, I came across a creator who labeled herself as a crunchy mom. In her videos, she would have these funny little skits where she played both the crunchy mom and then she'd change her shirt and play the silky mom. The silky mom was the one happily sipping a Coke, ordering a double chocolate whipped frappuccino, and letting her kids eat donuts for breakfast. Meanwhile, the crunchy mom was over there reading food labels and blending kale into smoothies. And honestly, I laughed because I've been both of those moms at different points in my journey. It was funny because it was so relatable. But then over time, her videos shifted. It wasn't crunchy versus silky anymore. It became crunchy versus crunchy. Moms trying to outdo each other on who could crunch harder. And suddenly, it wasn't funny at all. In fact, it felt so terrible in my spirit because it was purely based on judgment. And here's the thing, if someone is always telling you that you're not doing enough, they don't actually care about you or your journey. Real care looks like cheering each other on, not competing over who bought the cleanest snacks or the purest laundry soap. Because the truth is, this health journey is already hard work. It takes flipping your philosophy upside down, relearning how to shop, cook, and live, and that deserves encouragement, not competition. Here's what I know as a coach and as a friend. If you try to do everything at once, it's overwhelming. Actually, it's more than overwhelming, it's detrimental to your journey. It's not about doing all the things right, it's about doing the next right thing. Maybe for you, that's starting with healthier snacks in the pantry, or maybe it's buying organic from the Dirty Dozen list. Maybe you're choosing a healthier bread or switching out your cleaning products and laundry detergent. Maybe you're exploring essential oils and herbal remedies as you reduce your reliance on medications. Every single step matters. Every step takes you closer to the life you want to live, and every step is worth celebrating. And while you're celebrating your own steps, celebrate other moms and theirs too. Let's cheer each other on. Let's share wisdom and encouragement so we can all get better together. Let's talk about the Proverbs 31 woman for a minute. Because honestly, she reminds me a lot of the whole crunchy mom syndrome. She's that woman we either want to be or we roll our eyes at. Sometimes we elevate her and we think, if only I could be like her. Other times we're just flat out annoyed because she seems to do it all while we're over here trying to keep the house semi-clean and remember what day it is. If she were alive today, she'd probably be that mom who homeschools, gardens, cans her own food, makes bread from scratch, runs a business, and still manages to look joyful with a spotless house. We love her and we kind of hate her too. But here's the perspective I want us to hold on to. The Proverbs 31 woman wasn't defined by her to-do list. She was defined by her character. That's the part we often miss. And honestly, that's a whole other conversation we can save for another day. But something I want you to recognize about her life, and I think this is so important, is that I truly believe that the Proverbs 31 woman was an older woman. And even though there's really no biblical evidence for this, if we take a look at her life and what we know about real life, I truly believe that this makes so much sense. Think about it. Her children rise up and call her blessed. Okay, I have a 5-year-old and I have an almost 13-year-old. He'll be 13 next week. And let me tell you, they're not calling me blessed and they're not singing my praises, okay? I'm lucky if I get a thank you for dinner. So no, I don't think that her kids are young because young children are not exactly in the habit of singing our praises in between tantrums and snack requests. This is the voice of grown children looking back with gratitude for the life she built because now they can see it from a new perspective. Also, her husband is a respected leader of the community. That doesn't happen overnight. It takes years of faithfulness, work, and building. And don't forget, she had hired help. Now, I could do a lot too if I had someone doing my cooking, cleaning my house, and helping me just generally run the household, okay? Plus, she had savings and resources, enough to buy land and plant vineyards. That's not the picture of a newlywed scraping by or a young mom trying to survive on a tight budget. That's the picture of a woman who has lived a faithful life for decades, and now we're seeing the fruit of it. What we don't see is the early years We don't hear about when she and her husband were first married and broke, eating simple meals, scraping by to save for something small, having a hard time even imagining what it would be like to have so much money in their savings that they could just buy land and plant a vineyard on a whim. We don't hear about the years she probably felt tired, unseen, and overwhelmed by raising littles. We only see the woman she eventually became, the life she built over a lifetime of small, faithful steps. And Mama, that's exactly where I am right now. And I believe that you are right now. We're in the building years. We're shaping our philosophy of health and wellness. We're making small swaps in the kitchen, cultivating new skills, and setting a foundation for our children's future. It may not look glamorous right now, but this journey is deeply significant to who we are becoming. I want to tell you, you're not supposed to have it all together today. Being a Proverbs 31 woman isn't arriving, it is making the journey towards a beautiful life. And if you're working on doing that right now, then you're already a Proverbs 31 woman. And God will get you to every good thing He has planned for you. You're in process, and God honors that process. While you're in your process, there will be so many voices telling you what to do and what to change along the way. And if you start to feel overwhelmed, I want you to know something. There will always be another level to your health journey. In fact, the more you know, the more overwhelming and even discouraging it can feel. Think of it like this. We're in pursuit of God's natural creation, but we live in a world that's constantly trying to destroy everything God made good. The thief comes to steal, kill, and destroy. But I have come that you may have life and have it to the full. That's true physically just as much as it is spiritually. Just like we never stop pursuing God in our spiritual life, we also never stop pursuing His goodness and design in nature. Our hearts long for the garden and the simplicity and the beauty of what God created. And while we can't get back to Eden on this side of eternity, we do what we can now, knowing that one day God will restore all things. So we have a choice. We can look ahead at all the things we should do and get completely overwhelmed and maybe even wonder, what's the point? Or want to give up altogether. Or we can choose to celebrate the journey. We can pause and say, look how far I've come. Look at this amazing change I just made. And when you celebrate what's already happened, you'll actually be encouraged to take the next step and then the next and the next. When I feel overwhelmed by all the shoulds, I use a simple framework. I call it good, better, best, and bucket list. Every health choice has levels. For example, let's say that you're going to start eating more vegetables. Good would be eat veggies. Even if they're conventionally grown veggies and they have some pesticides and you know it's not the best, you're eating vegetables and they're good for you. But better would be to buy organic, especially from the Dirty Dozen list. And then the best option would be to grow your own. Now, today I do grow a lot of our own veggies, but years ago, that wasn't even an option. First of all, I was living in an apartment and could barely keep a houseplant alive. Back then, garden went on the bucket list. It was like the one day thing. Definitely not now. And so if you have something you're putting on your bucket list, you're like, no way, Jose, that's not happening right now. That feels way too overwhelming, or it doesn't fit in the budget, or I couldn't even imagine figuring that out right now. That's okay. Write it on a list somewhere. I used to do that. Goals for the future, and I would write it down. That was my healthy bucket list, and I would save it for later. Reminder to myself, this is great when it's reasonable. Right now it's not, and that's okay. But what you want to do to be able to move forward in your journey is to ask yourself this key question, and that is, what can I do now? There's always some small step you can take. Maybe you're not ready to make your own bread, but you can learn how to make bone broth. Maybe you're not ready to invest in essential oils, but you can pick up some elderberry syrup at the farmer's market. There's always something you can do now. So focus on that step and trust that over time, all those steps will add up to a life you'll be so proud of, and that you don't have to do it all at once. Remember, we're not going after perfection. We're just pursuing the journey and celebrating the wins. Mama, wherever you're at, you're allowed to be on your crunchy journey without labels, without judgment, and without guilt. If you're listening to this podcast, you're already pursuing something better, and I'm so proud of you for that. So instead of looking at how far you still have to go, pause and look back. Look how far you've come. That one swap you made, that one habit you started, that's worth celebrating. And it's proof that you can take the next step, and then the one after that. Because this isn't about being the crunchiest mom in the room. It's about stewarding the health God gave you with grace, joy, and confidence for the journey. You got this, mama. And even if no one else in your life understands or supports and celebrates what you're doing, I do. I see you. I see all the intention that you're putting behind this. I see all the ways that you're learning and stretching and you're seeking God in all that you do. And I bless you in your journey, and I encourage you, just keep going. You got this, mama. You were made for wellness. Mama, I hope this episode blessed you and reminded you that you were beautifully and uniquely made to thrive. If today's conversation spoke to your heart, I'd love for you to take a moment to leave a rating and review. Not only does it encourage me, but it helps more tired mamas discover the hope, healing, and energy they've been searching for. You're not in this alone. Make sure to hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. Together, we'll reclaim your energy, renew your health, and revive your spirit, one step at a time. Until next time, remember, you are beautifully designed by God to live with energy, clarity, and joy. You're not just surviving, mama. You're stepping into the vibrant life you were created for. I'm cheering you on.